Alright, so I want to play this. I haven't seen this yet, but a couple people sent this to me. Before the show started. So, status coup. I believe Jordan himself was at Nina Turner's, election watch party, whatever it was. And, he asked her a couple of questions. Now, again, I haven't seen this yet, but I was told that this involves, the lack of endorsements from members of the squad other than AOC, and I'm very interested in why 5 out of 6 members of the squad refuse to participate in this race. I'm sure it's possible that they've got a good reason. Like I said, I've said this many times. If Nina Turner calls everyone in the squad up and says, hey, don't get involved in this race. Let's just see what happens if you don't get involved. Let's see if we can kind of skirt under the radar. Let's see what, there's any number of reasons why Nina would not want a high profile endorsement from the squad. I would love to see evidence of that. And, so let's see. I believe Jordan is going to ask her something along those lines. Let's watch.
Let's talk about this race. Obviously, your campaign felt good going into it. A lot stronger ground game. What do you think happened tonight? Was it all money, or were there other factors here?
Oh, no, it was all money. Almost $3 million coming in the last 2 weeks. They know that we were winning this race. We had an incredibly strong ground game. We did field first. We've been knocking doors since February. Commercials, they outpaced us 50-1 because I did not have the same level of resources that I had last time. We had a team that was different in many ways, and we went hard into the field, but we couldn't combat the onslaught of negative ads 50-1. So what we believe happened is that we had our voters out there, but some of them may have been turned off a little bit by the negative ad. I mean, they pummeled me with negative ads just like they did last time. I am convinced that they would not have come in here. President Biden wouldn't have endorsed. The neoliberal would not have come in here. They knew that we were winning this race, and they called in a 911.
Biden didn't only endorse one other candidate other than Chantel Brown.
The entire country in a safe district. So it just really tells our movement, and my message right now is to the movement. The freedom fighting movement, we got to take the gloves all the way off.
Let's talk about the gloves all the way off. You mentioned Pinos, P-I-N-O, progressives and names only.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. The squad did not come in here for you. AOC came in 5 minutes before. They had their reasons. We can't endorse an incumbent. Who are the Pinos? And did the squad and the broader progressive movement let you down?
I don't want to get into the squad, okay? Some of those women are my friends. Some people were threatened. Were threatened.
By who?
And, I want to get into the threats, but they were threatened. So, look, I want to lead them to the side.
So, okay. Nina Turner very clearly does not want to talk about this in public, and that's her right to do so. But, I'm going to be honest. I don't care. What could these threats have possibly been? Now, again, in my opinion, the only world where it's acceptable not to endorse Nina Turner as soon as possible is a world where Nina Turner asks you not to do so. If they never talked about it and the squad independently or came to their own conclusions, maybe let's stay out of it or this, that, and the other without consulting Nina Turner, that's a problem. Now, if they did consult Nina Turner and they had talked about it and they said that this is probably the best case scenario or whatever, if that's the case, I want what Nina wants in this instance. But the claim here is that they were threatened. Now, what could they have possibly been threatened with? Well, they could maybe be threatened with getting stripped off of committee seats or, being cut out of certain meetings or this and that and the other. I say, fuck it. I say, fuck it. Unless Nancy Pelosi has your kid hostage with a gun pointed at their head, fuck her. Fuck her. Fuck her agenda. Fuck what she has to say. Fuck her. Fuck the Congressional Progressive Caucus and their fucking stupid ass fuck shit endorsement. Fuck Joe Biden and his stupid ass fuck shit endorsement. Fuck them all. That's what I say. But also, that's probably the reason why I'm not in Congress, right? So, again, that's definitely interesting. I, like Jordan Sheridan in this instance, really want to know why the squad did not endorse Nina Turner. That is a big problem for me. I want to figure that out. And I'm sure that there's a whole host of good, valid, possibly really good reasons. Right? Why they wouldn't. And I'm sure that it's possible that they will course correct. And let's say, another scenario comes around that's like that and they will do the right decision then. It's all possible. It's all good. And I want that. I want the best possible outcome on all of this, but let's continue.
We'll say that the Congressional Progressive Caucus was wrong. They were wrong, and I was really glad to see Congresswoman Jayapal in the Punch Bowl article kind of allude to they need to change the way that they do this. That came from the pressure of the movement itself. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been noticed. I mean, she did mention, the crypto billionaire coming in and that kind of thing, and maybe that's not the way we should endorse. The Progressive Caucus has got to show that they're different than the Blue Dog Caucus, because if they're not, then they might as well just go ahead and unite with them. So I don't want to put this on. Let me say this to the movement. The movement has got to understand that the neoliberal types are not playing with us, so we can't play with them. That's it. And we got to be disciplined. We got to be united. And we cannot get off focus, because the things that this movement is fighting for, Jordan, are beautiful for all people. But we need more discipline, and we can't play games. And so I am committed to going all across this country and making sure that we get that message. And for those in the wealthier class that do support this movement, who do know that something is wrong with the system, we need them to bring it on in here in terms of making investments so that this kind of stuff doesn't happen again. I said that last year, right? It happened again because they fear me. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. It's crystal clear. This black woman from Cleveland, $3 million, 2 weeks left in the campaign. And everybody, their mamas and their mama came up in here. But it's okay. When I tell you that my resolve, my resolve is strong.
Am I dreaming, or did you just announce a run for president?
Well, I said 2024, here we come. So I'm going to leave that for other people's imagination. But I said California got something to say about this. Iowa got something to say about this. Nevada got something to say about this.
Well, let me ask you, would you consider running as an independent rather than in the Democratic primary if you ran?
I would consider that. Absolutely, I would. All options are on the table.
Because a lot of people thought Bernie should have ran as an independent, or at least when he lost in the Democratic primary, run as an independent. A lot of people feel the Democratic Party is where ambition goes to die, and we just saw a poll where 58% of the country said they would vote for an independent.
I mean, the majority of, even Cuyahoga County, the majority of the voters identify as independent voters. Now, independent voters lean some way, in the
I just want to be clear on my opinion on independent versus running in the primary. I've been on every side of this argument, right? My personal opinion, running as an independent in 2024 would not be successful. That's my opinion. I would rather see her run in the Democratic primary. Now again, I would support her regardless. If Nina Turner ran as an independent, fuck it, I'm in right now. Again, we'll see, the state that I live in at the time of the election, how it possibly would line up, right? I'm very, very conscious of the spoiler thing, right? But I would say that if she genuinely wants to run, I would say running as a Democrat would be better. And the reason why I say that is because the infrastructure for independence just doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. Right? Unless you're a multi-billionaire, right? Like Ross Perot, extremely wealthy. Extremely wealthy. And all he really managed to do, he won 0 states. I think he got like 20% of the popular vote, but he won 0 states. And that's what we need to understand. Is as long as the Electoral College exists, I don't think an independent is going to do any. That's my opinion. And I want there to be an argument that sways me to the other side. I hate the Democratic Party. Right? I fucking loathe this institution. I want there to be a convincing argument in favor of running as an independent. But until we have at least a couple of basic reforms, like Electoral College abolition, maybe ranked choice voting nationwide, until at least we have those two things, I think running as an independent is a waste of time. That's my opinion. Now again, if you want to run as an independent, you know you're not going to win, but you do so in a way just to get a messaging campaign going, okay, I'm in. I'm into that idea. But I personally think that if you want to mount a serious challenge as a run for president, I believe that doing so within one of the parties is the way to go. That's my opinion. That's where I'm at right now. But anyway, let's continue.
Party system has it. They got it on lock. What we have to begin to do is awaken the sleeping giants, and that's exactly what I plan to do.
My last question. You mentioned the pundits are going to talk and everything like that. If you run, the media is going to say two-time loser, agitator, divisive, whatever. What would be your...
Remember the current
Also, okay, never mind. She's gonna do it.
president now ran 3 times.
comeback. And can I just ask you from a spiritual point? I'm going to be honest, you obviously were a little more muted running these last 2 times than you were on the campaign trail for Bernie. And the fire came out in that speech. I think what a lot of people wanted to hear from you during this campaign was that. Can you kind of talk about, did you feel you couldn't be that way?
I wasn't muted, especially this time around. I was not muted at all. You know, I've been out there saying the things that need to be said. I talked about the seat not being for sale. That's calling out the person that's in the seat. I called out the billionaire class and the millionaire class that came in here to taint and dilute the will of the everyday people. I talked about what the vision is for my district and for this country. So I called out the folks, and that's what they don't like. So no, not muted at all. This is me, and my affect comes in different forms.
I would say not the best question. I mean, muted in the sense that national media is specifically trying to not engage in the conversation, but that's not Nina Turner's fault. Right, just because you are not keeping up with the race doesn't mean Nina Turner is less enthusiastic than before. So I think, that's...
Sometimes I am going to be as fiery as I was tonight, and sometimes I'm going to be just as cool and calm and collected as I'm talking to you tonight. But nobody in this movement should doubt where I stand in terms of fighting for the things that people deserve in this country.
My last question, I promise my last question. What do you say to people watching that are just fucking fed up? They rode the Bernie wave. You were out there. They're hopeless. They're working 3 jobs. Inflation. They still haven't recovered financially or health-wise from COVID, and they just can't take any more defeat. And they feel like checking out. What do you say to them?
They can't check out because that's what the status quo. That's what the corporatists want them to do. They want them to check out. I was serious when I said this. Cleveland was the station of hope on the Underground Railroad. Hope is an action word. You can't check out because if you check out, then they automatically win. They being the corporate interests that can buy and bribe politicians, the corporate interests that have a lock hold on what we get and what we don't get. If you check out, then you make their job easier. So we can't check out, we gotta fight. Now you can be disappointed, you can be mad, but what you cannot do is check out, because they automatically win if we do that.
And would you run against Biden in the primary if he still ran?
2024 is gonna take care of itself, but I'm saying to the people.
Don't be coy. Would you run against him?
2024 is gonna take care of itself, but I'm saying to the people, I was very clear up there. Said 2024, here we come.
I guess I'll see you in Iowa. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good luck. Thanks for watching.
So, decent questions. From that, I'm very interested, in why exactly, the squad did not endorse her. I'm very interested in that. I'm sure that more of it's going to come out at some point, on that one. But as far as running as an independent in 2024, I support her running in any capacity that she deems is her best likelihood to accomplish her goal. If her goal is to engage in a messaging campaign, something like Bernie Sanders 2016 maybe, and she views independent as a way to garner more, people listening to her message in some way, okay, personally, that's not where I'm at. But if she wants to just do a messaging campaign for that reason, I'm okay with that. But I do think her running inside the Democratic primary, I think her specifically going against Joe Biden would be good. Regardless, I don't care if Joe Biden runs. I don't care. She should run in the Democratic Party no matter what collection of figures wants to also run. If it's just her and Biden and the whole corporate class coalesces against her and says, oh, why is this gnat trying to fucking run against our Lord and Savior Joseph Biden? So be it. So be it. In my opinion, we learned in 2016, a 2-person race, a little close compared to a 20,000 person race. But anyway, I don't know if I have anything else to say on that one. I don't know, Jordan Sheridan trying to bring in, the kind of, at the end there, oh, people feel defeated. They want to check out. And what Nina Turner has to say on that one is extremely true. And this is why, online, campaigns like Force the Vote are so dangerous, is because it mentally, prepares people. It trains them to be helpless. It's instructed, taught helplessness. That's what Forced the Vote, online conspiracy movements, it's just a left-wing QAnon, let's be honest, right? But what it does is, it makes you expect the world, and when the world doesn't happen, right, you immediately, it's all bad. They're all evil. Everyone's evil. The whole system is corrupt. I'm just gonna sit at home and play video games, right? And that's what the force the vote kind of stuff learns to exploit. And this is why, in my opinion, Nina Turner is a good antidote to that kind of learned depression, learned helplessness, because she really just is a very engaging and excited speaker, right? And so, like, and what she said is very true. Like, when you do give up, when you learn helplessness in such a degree where you don't actually engage in the system at all, right? And this goes back to what I was saying before. There's two levels to politics. There's one, policy, and two, strategy, right? And you can be like the most ultra anti-imperialist super communist in the world, but if you sit at home all day and just yell at people on YouTube about forcing the vote, and you don't actually engage in electoral politics, you don't actually engage in mutual aid, you don't actually engage in anything really politically, then your policy is irrelevant. If you have no strategy, your policy no longer matters. It doesn't matter if you believe in a utopia, because you're not fighting for it in any capacity. And so therefore, like, it's great that you want a communist world. That's awesome. But if you're not going to fight for it, I'm going to work with people that are more willing to fight for things, even if they don't necessarily want a communist world. And so that's why I think the independent third-party rhetoric is dangerous, because it promotes this kind of learned helplessness kind of behavior. And I don't like that kind of stuff personally. And again, if someone wants to come around and give me an argument with actual evidence and facts that says that third party could actually win this time, hey, I voted third party in 2016. It was my first general election. I voted for the Green Party. Guess what the Green Party's done since 2016? Nothing. I was promised in 2016 that, oh, we're going to vote for the Green Party. They're going to show the establishment who's boss. They're going to give federal funding, and then they're going to do like another 4-year campaign for 2020, and it's going to be great. Didn't happen. The Green Party on like what it was, like November 8th, whatever it was in 2016, like the day after the election, you know what they did? They disappeared. They went to the gone zone. They fucking exited stage left. Thanks for the cash. See you later. So, I mean, again, so that's why I'm against third parties. I'm against independents, because in my position is that they have, it's just it's doing the same job, but with 30,000, it's like playing a video game for the first time on very hard difficulty, and you've never played the video game before. You don't know, you haven't learned anything, you don't know all the levels, you don't know the bosses, but you start and you play on very, very hard difficulty for no reason. I don't know, if you want to, just for fun or whatever, okay. But, it's a little silly, in my opinion, to advocate for running as an independent. But again, I support Nina Turner wholeheartedly, and so that's all I want to really talk about there, is that Nina Turner is, God tier. As far as politicians go, really the best you can ask for at this point, and that's great. So, big support, and there you go.